Hello YouTube, my name is Devmog and today I would like to discuss my picks of movies that needs a game adaptation. Before we begin, please note that there may be a few minor spoilers in this video and I recommend going through the description of this video and skipping certain movies that you have not seen yet. And with that, let's get right into it. Number 10. Broadwalk Empire, or The Sopranos, depending on what period in history you would like to see. I would choose The Sopranos, and I think either of these two series can make a good open world Mafia type game. These crime dramas can be a great entry in gaming when done right. And on top of that, there is a few well done video games already out of which they can learn from and expand their ideas from, especially when looking at the Mafia games and the Godfather games. When looking at these games, they can pick up and choose elements that made each of them unique and focusing on their strengths and not their weaknesses. So storytelling would be very important, and if they put other elements into the game like more realism and immersion, this can be the best open world crime game that ever have been made. I would suggest picking up elements of GTA's open world ideas like gang and turf wars. Alongside that, adding the professional stories and choices from Mafia 1, 2 and 3, as well as missions with choices that will have meaning and may impact the game world. Other elements must be taken from the Godfather games, where you build an empire by influencing clerks, bribing police and protecting your empire from other gangs. And I think when you can bring in more game mechanics like purchasing and customizing properties as well as businesses, and choosing a main building for your HQ with patrolling gangs and elected squad leaders and generals fighting and protecting you and your interest, that will make you truly feel like the boss. Then adding options like buying, customizing and racing cars from custom shops to specific dealerships as seen in games like GTA and Test Drive Unlimited, where you feel that you actually own property and cool stuff that you want to protect, defend and build up, and that makes it a true role-playing crime game. Number 9 is Serenity. In this universe, you can be anyone or anything in the space sandbox RPG game with factions to choose from that have meaning and original story to tell, especially when you have stories from the terrifying barbaric non-human faction, namely the Reavers. This game can learn from other space games like Elite and Dangerous and Starcitizen, making a universe where the choices does matter, and there also should be first-person elements in the game, and the worlds must be fully explorable with their immersive features. They must also have meaningful stuff like trading and smuggling, depending on you of course. The universe have a lot to offer and to expand upon, the ideal game in my opinion. Number 8 is Harry Potter. This must be a high budget, well thought of game that can go into many directions. The direction I am thinking of is a story-driven open-world RPG, almost like The Witcher, but you can choose your own character. I think this game can benefit if you focus on superb storytelling, choose your own destiny and suffering the consequences type of game. At a later date, I will go into the depth of my ideas, but at the moment let's say that Harry Potter and the sequels need a proper game adaptation. Number 7 is Fast and the Furious. This is one movie series with fancy cars, and I'm not sure how well the story can be in this type of game, especially if you look at the Need for Speed Payback and other Need for Speed games. But I do think there is a potential for an Underground 2 remake in the realms of Fast and the Furious. I don't know, what do you guys think? Number 6 is Dances with Wolves. This is a classic movie set in the Frontier era. I'm not going to spoil this awesome movie, so I'm just going to say that this game should be a focused first-person hardcore survival and building game, as well as elements of the Red Dead Redemption where you build your homestead, negotiate with other factions and trade with them. This game can be great with the ability to tame animals and to have cool little features like extensive farming and building and the implementation of seasons, meaning you must store your food and adapt to your elements at hand. Number 5 is Pacific Rim. This movie can be a great example of creatures against mechs, and I think that a similar mech-based game can be a good thing set in this universe. This game will be special due to the integration of the kaiju in the main game. Number 4 is WaterWorld. This is a movie based on the idea that the seas have taken over and there is no land to be seen. This movie can be a great game where the focus would be on surviving, building and buying ships, weapons and other useful stuff on the open ocean. This game can learn from games like RAFT, Stranded Deep and Subnautica to a small extent. I think in this game they must focus on building and enhancing vehicles that you have commandeered, as well as joinable factions, threats from patrolling sea raiders and air units, and the elements like sea storms. There can be so many freedom for creative thinking and building put into this game, and it's just a must. Number 3 is Terminator, and over the years it received a few game adaptations but leaves a lot to desire as seen in the new movies as well. But in any case, this can also be a nice open world game, but unlike the other games, this one will be different. You can either choose between human or robot when it comes to character creation. This will change the game for you and align yourself with a good story and a faction. Humans will have different factions, but there will be a big main faction that will focus on raiders and the machines. You must scavenge and rescue people to form an army and stay alive from infiltrators and Skynet that wants to capture and destroy you. You will receive missions and help outposts and bases if you are a good person or aligned with the faction you have chosen. If you are a machine, Skynet will have missions for you. You can choose to obey or defect if you find that you don't want to serve, making you a nomad. And if you choose to obey, you must capture humans and enslave them depending on the mission, build forts and guard them. Then you will rise up and build yourself a big army to go hunt with. Number 2 is Despicable Me. This is a great movie series that I think my idea for the game can be an awesome one. Although this is a kids movie, I think they must make a game where you are the boss and you must build up your base, develop resources and fend off infiltrating enemies. This game can be based on the RTS game Evil Genius, and I think it would be a nice fit. Number 1 is Annihilation. This is a weird movie that I'm not going to spoil for you too much, but if you haven't watched this, go and skip this part. So this movie is set in the modern times where a meteorite have landed, causing a weird force field type sphere that expands, engulfing the area and changing anything and everything in the sphere. Thus, I think a game must be set in the events just after the movie where another meteorite hits a very remote area. The United Nations finds out of this and send a 4-player team to evaluate this place and conduct experiments. A 4-player co-op experience where you go in the game and survive as long as you can, build your defenses and your base and scavenge the surrounding areas. Monitor and document your surrounding areas and species that you may find. Other groups have been sent in before you or after you and have gone insane, so you must defend yourself against them as well. Okay, that's the end of my video. What movie do you think must get a game adaptation? Please let me know in the comments, and if you find this video entertaining, consider subscribing. My name is Devmok and thank you for watching.